couple of interesting things that have occurred. Number one, going back to the marketing or the PR effort. In the early days, I would get a lot of calls from people saying, I want to talk to you about that abandoned airport you've got. Or I'd get comments like, man, that's really a shame. That's really sad what's happening. And there was this very downtrodden point of view on the air park that it was a tough luck story, which obviously it was. But I think the PR has done a lot to turn that into a success story of revitalization, and the calls I'm getting are much more positive, and it's tell me about the opportunities there. And so from that standpoint, I think it's very good. I'm also getting, like, for example, from the hangar deal, I was talking to, just in the past week, a broker from San Antonio and another broker from Los Angeles, and their interest was really in the details of those deals, but it shows that word is getting out there about those projects and how we're able to put a deal together, and those guys, they're representing tenants in those markets, and they're we're on the radar, I guess is a good way to put it. As in today's world, when somebody's doing a search for a location, and they're going to look at the Wilmington Air Park, first thing they're going to do is go to the computer and Google Wilmington Air Park. And it's very positive when, first of all, the website comes up, right at the top, and then you start seeing these news articles of expansion, of building, of things that are happening with UAS, and these things that are happening at the air park, and we're getting this message so that DHL is way down the page or on the second or third page. When we first started this effort, the first thing that came up was the video from 60 Minutes, and it was a very tough message to get beyond. From the email and direct mail campaign, first of all, I don't think the expectation is that we get phone calls. I have gotten a couple, but the real expectation is that we are creating awareness that as I'm making cold calls, which I do all the time, I'm not explaining that Wilmington's not in Delaware, that they know where we are, they know who we are, and they've gotten the message, and we're able to quickly move in many cases from a conversation about us to a conversation about them and their business and what their needs are and what might be coming up. And so I think my experiences thus far have been more on the outbound side, that it has lessened the initial conversation of who we are and what we have, and increased their awareness of who we are.
David, when's it going to turn into we've got awareness to actual jobs? I mean, when is that? When are we going to get to that point? I think that's the question the community wants to know. And I understand it takes a while, and it doesn't happen overnight. And the marketing, I can understand the point of that. And like you just had a really good explanation. People want to know where are the jobs.
I'm a commission sales guy, so no one wants deals more than I do, and we are pursuing a lot of things right now that.
I mean, we've been hearing that for several years. We're pursuing things. I was watching the mayoral debate from 3 years ago. I shot a video of that for the News Journal, and the mayor was saying, we're this close. There are just so many things right around the corner, and that was 3 years ago. And the Wilmington Air Park is such a critical part of economic development. When are we going to get there?
So, every day what we're doing here is trying to make a better sales proposition. And all the things that you see discussed in this meeting are things that improve the sales proposition. And really, frankly, the answer to that question is that when we have a better solution than what is available elsewhere in the market, we'll get deals. And, we feel like we are, there, but we're not complacent. We're working to improve that offering all the time and be more appealing to more companies. But I can't comment on specific deals that we're chasing. I can't comment on the deals that haven't occurred that we've pursued. But I can tell you that we're not sitting back waiting for people to knock on our doors.
I don't want to hog up too much time, but when I met with Kevin and Beth a few months ago, and one of the pieces of information that was given was 85 potential prospects have come through this year, and that's this year. So I'm assuming that we've been doing this for 3 or 4 years now. So let's just pretend that number is the same those 3 years, and let's just round it out to 100. So those are 300 prospects. What 300 and a yield of what? Santa Rosa.
So those are divided by there's a large number of those that represent deals that never happened.
Sure.
Whether it was based on that company, their business plan, their financial backing, they're just that's just the nature of the beast. There are a small number of deals that have gone elsewhere, and there are deals that are still in the pipeline. And you have to understand that when you talk to major manufacturing companies, they're really not talking about moving operations typically. It's about expansion. It's about, we might get this order, and if we do, we're going to need a new facility to do this process. And so they're looking out 1, 2, 3 years, and it's a long process. And there have been some opportunities where we just weren't ready for them. That we had equipment in the buildings, we had deficiencies in our offering,